Just imagine, there are over 12,000 nuclear warheads on our planet right now. That's enough to destroy Earth several times over. The largest arsenals are in the United States and Russia, with 5,000 and 6,375 warheads respectively. But here's the kicker. American missiles are equipped with cutting-edge technology, like highly accurate GPS guidance systems that can hit a target with just a deviation of a few dozen feet. And what about Russia? Most of their warheads are literally rusted relics from the Cold War. While they'd love to make threats, their technology is seriously outdated. It's not just about the numbers, though. Delivery systems matter too. The U.S. has Minuteman III missiles that can travel over 6,200 miles in just 30 minutes and hit targets with incredible precision.
I know that when you're dealing with nuclear weapons, you must be perfect.
Now think about this. Most Russian warheads are in desperate need of modernization. They're either obsolete or have significant technical limitations. For instance, their Sarmat missile still hasn't undergone full deployment due to a lack of resources and technical issues. On the other hand, American missiles boast a clear advantage in speed. The Trident II, launched from submarines, reaches speeds of 15,000 miles per hour. That's almost 7 times the speed of sound. Plus, the U.S. missile defense system is capable of intercepting even hypersonic missiles. It all makes it seem like the U.S. has created such a flawless system that even the theoretical possibility of a nuclear strike from Russia seems futile. Nuclear arsenals have always been a key factor in the balance of power between the U.S. and Russia. During the Cold War, both nations developed missiles capable of wiping out cities in a matter of minutes. But times have changed. The U.S. has shifted its focus to precision, speed, and defense technologies. Meanwhile, Russia continues to flaunt its Soviet-era stockpiles, which look more like museum relics than modern weaponry. Today, global tensions are running high once again, but is Russia's threat really as terrifying as it seems? And how is the U.S. leveraging its advanced technologies to stay one step ahead? Right now, tensions between the U.S. and Russia have reached levels we haven't seen since the Cold War. Both sides possess massive nuclear arsenals, but their quality, technology, and strategic readiness are worlds apart. Imagine if Russia suddenly decided to act on its nuclear threats. What would such an attack look like? And could it actually cause significant damage? Take Russia's so-called Sarmat, an intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM, they like to call Satan II. It has a range of over 11,000 miles, theoretically capable of striking anywhere in the world. But here's the catch. Its real-world testing is still incomplete. The missile struggles with accuracy and relies on outdated Soviet-era navigation systems. Compare that to the U.S.'s Minuteman III, another ICBM with a range of about 6,200 miles, slightly less than the Sarmat, but here's where it shines: accuracy. Its advanced guidance system achieves a circular error probable, CEP, of just 100 to 200 feet, while the Sarmat CEP can reach several miles, severely reducing its effectiveness.
For simulated electronic launch Minuteman, we provide all that kind of backroom.
What about the tactical scenario? Suppose Russia launches a missile toward the U.S. First, the American Early Warning System, NORAD, would immediately detect the launch using satellites that track heat signatures. From launch to impact, the missile would take about 30 minutes, during which the U.S. missile defense system would be activated. Here, speed is critical. Russian missiles like the Avangard, touted as hypersonic, travel at speeds of Mach 27, roughly 20,500 miles per hour. Impressive, but U.S. missile defense systems are specifically designed to counter high-speed threats like these. SM-3 interceptors, used in both sea-based and land-based Aegis systems, can reach speeds of up to 9,300 miles per hour and are capable of destroying missiles before they re-enter Earth's atmosphere. Another crucial factor is the number of delivery systems. Russia has a limited number of modernized submarines capable of carrying missiles like the Bulava. In contrast, the U.S. operates Ohio-class strategic submarines, each of which can launch up to 24 Trident II missiles. These missiles not only have an impressive range of up to 7,500 miles, but they can also carry up to 14 warheads, each independently targeting a separate destination. Imagine a real scenario. Russia launches 10 missiles, and even if they manage to bypass all obstacles, the damage they could inflict pales in comparison to what the U.S. could deliver in response. American missiles boast superior accuracy, reliability, and the capability to launch a strike that could neutralize the opponent before they even fully execute their attack. In this way, the actual threat of an attack from Russia seems more like a tool for political leverage than a viable plan. The U.S. missile defense system, combined with the precision of its missiles and strategic advantage, effectively nullifies any attempts at escalation. Here's what's awesome. Americans don't just pour massive amounts of money into their missiles, they invest in innovation too. And Russia? Their missiles, though labeled as hypersonic, suffer from major issues with accuracy and maneuverability. Take the Kinzhal, for example. Test launches have shown it's effective mainly in propaganda videos and occasional strikes on civilian targets. Meanwhile, the U.S. is also experimenting with non-nuclear ballistic missiles like the Prompt Global Strike program. These missiles are designed to eliminate strategic enemy targets before they even have a chance to respond. Now here's the most interesting part. Why does Russia threaten so aggressively but never actually push the nuclear button? Experts believe it's more about intimidation than an actual threat. U.S. technology is so far ahead that any attempt at an attack would be immediately neutralized. American missile defense systems like Aegis and THAAD are capable of intercepting even the most advanced targets. On top of that, the U.S. has a massive reserve fleet of strategic bombers ready to deliver a retaliatory strike if necessary.
I would say the THAAD system is a privilege to work on because it's not an MOS, it's an identifier, so not everybody in air defense gets.
Here's something interesting. Russia's financial resources simply don't allow them to maintain a modern arsenal. Their military budget is 10 times smaller than the U.S.'s. So even if they try to catch up, it's like fighting with a wooden sword against a laser. So what do we have, buddy? The U.S. keeps improving its missile technologies, creating weapons that truly change the game. The new U.S. missile is ready to destroy everything in its way. On April 3rd, the Lockheed Martin and the U.S. Navy announced the testing of the AGM-158C long-range anti-ship missile. During the test, 4 missiles were launched simultaneously to coordinate with each other on the way to the target. This event is more important than you think because now the United States has a weapon that can sink enemy ships, and those ships will not be able to do anything about it. It's all about completely new control, guidance, and flight systems, which together open up new horizons for naval forces because this missile is capable of destroying an enemy ship in 3 seconds. This is humiliating for the enemy because the power of just one AGM-158C is comparable to the power of at least 5 missiles available to the enemy. Moreover, it's cheap, but it sinks ships worth several $billion. It can independently find the vulnerabilities of the enemy and hit the engine area or a fragile part of the deck. The LRASM uses a turbofan engine similar to those used on fighter jets, which means it can fly very fast, namely over 800 miles per hour at low altitude, practically merging with the sea surface, making it very difficult to detect. Even a C-17 cargo airplane can launch it. At the same time, it's capable of launching at least 45 such missiles equipped with artificial intelligence and 990-pound warheads in one flight.
This is a strategic national mission, that this is a priority of the President of the United States.
The LRASM is an advanced anti-ship cruise missile that has far-reaching implications for warfare at sea. Let's take a closer look at the details of its work and find out why it's so powerful. This amazing missile was developed by the world-famous Lockheed Martin Company. The basis for the development was the thesis that it's necessary to build high-precision weapons against enemy ships. It was not created from scratch, as there was a project of the AGM-158B projectile before, but it didn't show proper results. Although it was long-range, its accuracy left much to be desired. The LRASM has a slightly shorter range of 250 miles, but this is enough. In addition, the missile is supplied with additional equipment for additional power, or simply put, with a unique radar. The most interesting aspect of LRASM is its ability to autonomously detect enemy ships and coordinate attacks with other missiles. It follows a predefined route using built-in artificial intelligence and target data transmitted over encrypted communication channels. Thanks to this, it can effectively coordinate attacks with other similar missiles. Where else have you seen such a smart missile?
other hand, technology has equally kept pace with the proliferation of those threats.
In addition to actual accuracy, this approach also affects the economic benefits of the missile, as it avoids the situation when several missiles hit one ship at once. The AGM-158C has highly sensitive sensors capable of pinpointing the exact location of a strike on a specific ship to inflict maximum damage. For example, it can independently find the vulnerabilities of the enemy and hit the engine area or a fragile part of the deck, causing as much damage as possible. The new missile can be launched from any existing fighter or bomber, including the F-35C hypersonic aircraft. But one of the most exciting ways to use these missiles is to launch them quickly using the Rapid Dragon system. These are unique racks for missiles placed on pallets that allow cargo aircraft, such as C-130 or C-17, to become combat machines. For example, the C-17 can launch 45 AI-powered cruise missiles. Imagine the reaction of the enemy when they see a rain of missiles flying in from the sky. Its 990-pound warhead is specially designed to penetrate armor. Simply put, even a large aircraft carrier would not be able to survive such a strike. But we're talking about cases when the enemy ignores the threat, and such an outcome is extremely unlikely. In 99% of cases, enemy ships will use defense systems such as Aegis or machine guns, and that's where things get very ambiguous. Systems such as Aegis combine an advanced target detection and acquisition system, as well as SM-2 and SM-6 missile systems, which makes it easy to deal with enemy aircraft at a distance of 220 miles. In other words, the enemy can destroy not the missile itself, but the fighter from which it'll be launched. But here's the thing. The LRASM has a range of 250 miles, which means it can be launched from out of range of air defense systems, and then the missile will descend directly to the water, entering the zone of invisibility.
It brings all of the capabilities into one combat suite and enables us to counter, defend, and also offensively attack.
Another thing is the use of anti-aircraft defenses. They do not have a minimum range of protection, so with proper skill, they can shoot down the LRASM. But this is an unlikely outcome, as the projectile has a speed of over 800 miles per hour, i.e. supersonic. It seems that the LRASM will be a great addition to the Navy, especially in view of the current military situation. U.S. Navy warships such as the Arleigh-Burke destroyers and the Ticonderoga cruisers have enough long-range munitions to significantly affect the outcome of combat operations. However, maintaining their combat readiness for a long time can be problematic, as these ships must periodically return to ports to reload ammunition. But there's hope for a solution to this problem. There are several programs aimed at solving the issue. The Arleigh-Burke class destroyers are the main type of ships in the U.S. Navy and pose a serious threat to potential adversaries. They are equipped with Harpoon anti-ship missiles capable of hitting targets at a distance of up to 250 miles. The unique characteristic of the Harpoon is its high maneuverability and ability to fly at low altitude, which makes it very similar to the LRASM. But the Harpoon cannot be combined with self-similar missiles, so it's inferior in terms of effectiveness.
Also on the folks, we have 1 and 2 vertical launching systems.
Each Arleigh-Burke destroyer is also equipped with a 5-inch Mk-45 artillery system, torpedoes, and unmanned aerial vehicles. They are equipped with modern electronics and communication systems that ensure constant communication and information integration with other ships. This allows them to act in groups, exchange data, and coordinate attacks on the enemy from long distances. Thanks to their capabilities, Arleigh-Burke class destroyers can provide protection for their allies. They're able to reconnoiter the territory with the help of unmanned aerial vehicles, exchange information, and attack the enemy from long distances. As for the Ticonderoga, this guided missile cruiser is one of the most powerful in the world and is actively used by the U.S. Navy to demonstrate its power. This cruiser has the means to detect and attack submarines, including deep-sea torpedoes. But the most important feature is the ability to strike ground targets using Tomahawk guided missiles, which can hit targets up to 1,000 miles away. These missiles are capable of carrying various types of warheads and even nuclear ones, making them a versatile and dangerous weapon. In addition, the Ticonderoga cruiser is equipped with the Aegis system, which we've already described. Unlike in the past, modern U.S. warships rely heavily on long-range missiles that cannot be reloaded directly at sea. Therefore, the ships can attack a wider range of targets from a greater distance, but they have to return to port to reload. This problem's more serious than it seems. A 2019 study found that the U.S. Navy's Pacific Fleet would likely use more than 10,800 missiles per month in the event of a large-scale battle in the Pacific, with each ship having to sit in port for weeks before going back to action. To solve this problem, the LRASM missile was invented because it can be carried by any fighter jet or even a cargo plane. The ships no longer need to return to port so often because fighter jets can do it much faster.
We have the ability to tie up alongside of one of our supply ships, what we call oilers, logistics ships, and to be able to take on fuel, take on supplies, fresh fruits and vegetables.
The AGM-158C not only perfectly complements the power of the Ticonderoga and Arleigh-Burke, but also makes them safer. The fact is that the most vulnerable point on the cruiser is the ammunition depot. A single hit in this area could trigger a chain reaction in which every shell inside the ship would explode, blowing it to pieces. But when there are not so many missiles on the ship, it becomes a very difficult task to destroy it with one shot. In addition, with the advent of the AGM-158C, the U.S. Navy can pay more attention to the defense characteristics of its ships by installing additional air and torpedo defense systems instead of missile units. In fact, now the ships have to support the target by using the most powerful radars to detect it, after which the coordinates are transmitted to the AGM-158C brain center via closed communication channels. And then it's a matter of time before the fighter launches a missile. It flies to the target and attacks it with a powerful warhead. We're confident that the decision to create the AGM-158C was perhaps the most important and best solution to strengthen the U.S. position in the current global environment. And this video has come to an end. Thank you for watching this far. Leave your likes and dislikes under the video so that we can understand in which direction we should develop the content, and also comment about what you've seen. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.